Well, thanks for staying with us on the program this morning. We're looking to establish connection with Mr. Benjamin Umuteme. Good morning to you, Mr. Benjamin. Can you hear us? I don't know if you can turn down the volume of whatever you're listening to at the background. It's interfering with our conversation. Thank you.
Is it okay now?
Very well. Thank you very much, sir.
Okay.
Now, let's get your thoughts on the position of issues in Lagos following the dramatic return of the ousted Speaker Obasa, who held plenary with 4 lawmakers yesterday at the Assembly complex.
These issues will always crop up. If you recall what happened in Rivers State.
Mr. Benjamin, is it possible for you to totally turn down the audio sets next to you? Thank you, please.
Hello?
Is it possible to turn down the audio set next to you entirely?
Is it okay now?
Better, please. Carry on.
If you recall what happened in Rivers State, this was the same scenario that played out. Therefore, lawmakers are taking decisions on behalf of the state. Then you have over close to 30 lawmakers, and it just tells you the impunity in the system. And most times those that are supposed to talk will not talk. At the end of the day, you see it playing around. First it was Lagos, now it was Rivers, now it's Lagos. And yet, nothing is being said by those that are supposed to talk. Even the party leadership is not saying anything. So it's not a surprise when you see this kind of things.
Mr. Benjamin, when you say Mr. Benjamin, when you say those that are supposed to talk, I would like to get a proper explanation into that, because we saw comments from Obasa saying that although he's loyal to the president, his actions are entirely his. So, in your thoughts, who are those supposed to intervene in this matter?
You think Obasa will tell you that he has the support of the big men at the villa? No, nobody will tell you that. But Obasa is not acting alone on this. I bet you that.
Well, he's not acting alone, but the president has at some point tried to wade in and intervene in this matter, especially with the GAC as well in Lagos State. But up until this moment, we have not had any final resolutions from those meetings held between the president, the GAC, and of course the invitation of the GAC to Obasa for discussions on how to resolve the matter. Do you still think that this statement coming in from Obasa might not really be true? The fact that he's acting solely on his own, and that no matter the interference or intervention of anybody from anywhere, including the president, he's still insistent and hell-bent on remaining and retaining his position as the Speaker of the Lagos State House of Assembly.
Obasa is not acting alone. I can bet you that. He's not acting alone. We know the script. Most times what he said in the newsroom, as gatekeepers, we kind of we don't play off some of these things. We hear them, we see them, but at the end of the day, you think of the public good, and you take power on whatever you are listening to the public. Obasa is not acting alone. Just take that from me.
Now, we saw that the security detail or security aides attached to the Speaker of the Lagos State House of Assembly, talking about Princess Mojisola Miranda, had been withdrawn recently. And of course, the Commissioner of Police. Hello, Mr. Ben, could you consider turning the TV set or radio set next to you off completely? Because I can barely make out your voice, but I can hear the audio set next to you very clearly.
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you, but try turning down the volume or completely switching off the radio or TV set next to you. It's interfering with the conversation. Is it possible to switch it off completely?
Okay, is it okay now?
It is not, sir. We would want you to just switch it off and then we have the conversation, sir. Oh, okay. Okay, as I was saying that the security detail attached to Princess Miranda had been withdrawn, and the Commissioner of Police in Lagos State said it was done to make room for an audit. Now, what audit exactly could have necessitated the withdrawal of, a security detail attached to such a high-profile personality in a state like Lagos State?
Like I told you, Obasa has the backing of those in authority, and that is why you can see all this. Why would the police withdraw the detail of the Speaker of the House of Assembly? Is that not enough reason to tell you that that something is going on? And Obasa is being supported by those that are supposed to wade into this issue and resolve it amicably. So let's forget about what you hear and what you read. We all know the truth. So it's not a matter of saying whatever. That done rhetoric. We all know the truth.
But at this moment, we saw that the Speaker or the ousted and embattled Speaker Obasa had held plenary with only 4 members of the House. Yet 36 other members are against him and are of the opinion that Miranda must and will stay as Speaker of the House of Assembly in Lagos State. What does this portend for the peace and normalcy of, firstly, Alausa, where the assembly complex is situated, and Lagos State in general? Because as it appears now, the state is about to be thrown into a state of crisis, not just within the Lagos State House of Assembly, but general crisis that might affect lives and property of the residents of Lagos State. Are we expecting anything like that happening?
It might not happen the way to that extent. But have you heard anything from the governor? Has he come out to say, why is this happening? Well, please, it will be better we just watch what happens. Like they say, keep your fingers crossed. Because the matter until those that are supposed to act, you will see this back and forth.
Now, the former VP, Vice President Atiku Abubakar, has said that this is an erosion of democracy, and like we know, it's also happening in Rivers. How do we instill the values of democracy going forward?
Democracy in Nigeria is some people will say it's a joke, and this is a pointer to what you can use that and say, okay, they are right. But I have to explain to you that 4 out of 30, 40 persons to run the affairs of an assembly. How does that stand? No, it's like they say, democracy is a majority, but as it is now, there is the majority, there is the majority in this. So it's always been like this in Nigeria. If you recall, in past assemblies, you see this same thing happening, but yet nothing is done. So it's just a continuation of the lawlessness that is happening in our so-called democracy.
Now, are there any legal implications to this situation? Let's take the president. Let's take the GAC out of the picture entirely. Let's assume that they are not part of this in any way. Let's assume that there is no big man somewhere in Abuja engineering what is currently happening in the Lagos State House of Assembly. Are there any legal implications to what Obasa has done? Being impeached by members of the House to a majority vote, and then a month or so later, storming the House of Assembly complex and then holding plenary by force. Is there any implication maybe for Obasa going forward with regards to this issue?
Obasa went to court, but I'm surprised that he has told that the speaker. That's to tell you, even the law is not the law. Nobody cares about the law because in the first place, the judiciary has allowed itself to be, to be a pawn in the hands of those in the hands of affairs. So that is why you see these things happening. Otherwise, in normal times, they won't even dream of doing it because they know where the law stands on this matter. But in Nigeria, again, it's all about who is in a position of authority.
Now let's rest this issue and pick up another issue in the news, and it's the issue on the war against fake drugs. NAFDAC in recent raids have busted fake drug syndicates, and we continue to see even beyond drugs, beverages that are adulterated in some parts of the country. Now we're hearing that the life of the NAFDAC DG is under threat. The Afanifere is calling that the NAFDAC DG and EFCC should be protected in this regard. What do you make of this calls?
Yes, it's a good call. It's a good call. She needs protection. In fact, if you know what fake drugs is doing to people, you understand that the fight needs to be taken more seriously. Just imagine you buy drugs. You think you are taking the right prescription, but at the end of the day, it's not just working. The ailment still persists. In fact, in some cases, the drug even damages your system, and they are less worse off than when you started taking it. So it's a good fight. I think she should understand that Dora went through the same thing, and it's not surprising when I heard that she's saying that her life is under threat. Yes, it's normal. In Nigeria, when you are doing the right thing, it's always a challenge to you and your family.
Well, Mr. Ben, it wasn't entirely the fact that she was complaining that her life is under threat. She was just stating the facts out there and putting it out there to ensure that maybe the security agencies should do the right thing in ensuring that her life is protected, the lives of all her staff who are actively engaged in this fight against illicit drugs and substandard products are also protected, because from revelations, NAFDAC has seized in the last couple of months about 1 trillion naira worth of fake drugs and products around the country. Do you think that perhaps there needs to be some sort of stepping up of security around the NAFDAC DG and her staff as well?
Yes, they need to give her the maximum protection. Because this was what happened to Dora Akunyili. She was almost assassinated, and thank God that she survived. So it's a must. It's what should be done. There's no denying the fact that her life is under threat. Because you see people investing so much in a business and losing so much. So you know what that means.
No, it's coming at a time when there's a high cost of medication in the country. Do you have any recommendations as to how the government could intervene, owing to the fact that many people now look for cheaper drugs, which at times may be fake and not authentic?
Yes, actually, the various regulatory agencies need to do more. In terms of being able to monitor, especially at the points of entry. I think if they begin to do that, we might see less of fake drugs in Nigeria. It's just about being able to monitor and supervise properly what is brought in and what people take.